We have so many bugs to get through after our Squirm update. There are so many interesting bugs to do with Squirm, to do with Twisted, and some other gameplay bugs as well. Our first bug is quite old now, but it's still bizarre. It's to do with Twisted Poppy jumping. That's still happening to players, as we can see. So let's focus on Twisted Poppy. And as you can see on the left hand side, she did jump. It's hard to see, but she did jump. So this bug is still happening. The dev team haven't been able to fix the Twisted Poppy jumping bug. And it seems like only Twisted Poppy is able to jump. Really bizarre. Our next bug is to do with Twisted Glisten not responding to air horns. This user said, does Glisten just not hear air horns, or is this a bug? So we are going to watch a video of Twisted Glisten in his enrage phase, not responding to air horn. So V uses an air horn near Twisted Glisten and Twisted Glisten does not respond. It does look like V was in range and Twisted Glisten should have responded, but Twisted Glisten kept on running the opposite direction. What's going on there? Our next bug is to do with Twisted Squirm. This user said, so I was playing as Pebble and Squirm grabbed me. Poppy hits me at the same time I escaped and I was stuck in place afterwards. So it looks like this user was playing Pebble. Twisted Squirm grabs the pebble and then Twisted Poppy hits the pebble at the same time as Pebble managed to break free from Twisted Squirm. But as that happened, Pebble was stuck in place and was unable to move. So it seems like if the timing is perfect, it's possible to be stuck in place after breaking free from Twisted Squirm's suppression. We have another bug to do with Twisted Squirm where Twisted Squirm was not attacking players. What's going on there? Let's take a look. So this user said Squirm is not reacting when people are walking by, and they have this picture of the Squirm hanging from the ceiling, and as you can see, V is very close and it doesn't seem like Squirm is doing anything, but we do have a video. Let's take a look. As you can see, V is running underneath Twisted Squirm and Twisted Squirm is not reacting at all. It's not even attacking any players. What's happening? I've never seen this before. I wonder why this is happening. Another bug to do with Twisted Squirm is Twisted Squirm being stuck in the air. What? So this user said, I forgot to report this from my run, but Squirm is bugged. Let's take a look. They provided some pictures and a video. So the first picture shows Twisted Squirm on the right hand side in the air and everything seems quite normal. So let's take a look at the video and see what's happening. So as you can see on the right hand side, Twisted Squirm is literally stuck in the air, clawing around, not attacking any players. So something's definitely going on with Twisted Squirm. Sometimes he's not attacking. Hopefully the dev team can figure out what's happening in Twisted Squirm's code. Another bug to do with Twisted Squirm is duplicate Twisted Squirms on one floor. How is that even possible? Well, this user said, I wasn't recording, but I somehow got two Squirms on floor 32, or was it 33? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if this is supposed to happen. I don't think there's meant to be doubles. I actually believe this user if they said they saw two Twisted Squirms on a floor, because a while ago a user posted two Twisted Louis on floor 1, so there's definitely something going on and some people are getting duplicate Twisteds. But imagine duplicate Twisted Squirm on the floor. That sounds like a nightmare, but it's definitely a bug. Our next bug is about Twisted Blot. Players have reported that Twisted Blot has possibly been deleted from the Twisted pool. Whoa. So why would players think that? Well, ever since the Squirm update was released, players have reported Twisted Blot missing. They have not seen Twisted Blot. They've played hours and hours. They've played hundreds of floors and still no Twisted Blot. So where has Twisted Blot disappeared to? This user said Twisted Blot didn't show up ever since the update came out. This user says he's gone out of the Twisted roster. So this user believes that Twisted Blot has been deleted from the Twisted roster. This user says, I've been through probably close to 300 floors since the update and haven't seen him even once. This user has played around 300 floors and has not encountered Twisted Blot. What is going on? And this user says, Twisted Blot is unable to spawn in any runs after the Squirm update. No, I'm not complaining out of pure bad luck from RNG either. He's completely completely gone and multiple people have had this issue as well. I've traveled through 182 floors straight and did not encounter him once during my run. So again, this user has played hundreds of floors and has not encountered Twisted Blot. But then we have this user saying, me and my BF got Blot yesterday. So a lot of users are saying Twisted Blot has disappeared, and we have this user saying they have encountered Twisted Blot. So is there something happening behind the scenes that the dev team need to look at? Or is it just a case of bad RNG? I wonder. I myself have not encountered Twisted Blot either, so I'm one of the unlucky players who have not encountered Twisted Blot ever since the Squirm update. I wonder if there is something happening behind the scenes that is stopping some players from encountering Twisted Blot. The Twisted Blot disappearing was indeed a bug. This user said, Quell, I don't know if you know this, but Twisted Blot is gone from the game. Quell replied saying he was on vacation for a little bit, he's back. So Twisted Blot really did disappear for a lot of players, maybe even all players. So that wasn't RNG, Twisted Blot really was missing. Our next problem is to do with escaping Twisted Squirm on a console. This user said Squirm Twisted has no escape controls on console. I don't know if it has, and I didn't notice, but it seems like it doesn't. So this user wants to know how to escape Twisted Squirm on a console. This user replied saying, use the stick you use for moving and do left and right motions. So on a console controller, moving the analog thumbsticks left and right should work for you because that's what you use to move your Toon. Our next problem is to do with Toon sinking into the floor. This is a very old bug, but it's happening to Squirm, and we have this user saying, I got stuck in the floor when I got in the match, but I can still move. So the sinking bug is happening to Squirm as well. As you can see, half of Squirm's body is underground. It's quite unfortunate that the dev team still haven't found a fix for Toon sinking. This has been happening for so long now. Hopefully in the near future the dev team can figure out what exactly causes Toons to sink. I do know it's something to do with the stairs. Our next bug is to do with Squirm, our newest Dandyswall Toon. This user said, is this supposed to happen? Whenever I use Squirm's ability, I don't get the icor for the one time. As you know, Toons with abilities gain 5 icor when they're activated, but on Squirm, that doesn't seem to happen. You don't get any icor. Let's take a look at the video. So Squirm is using his active ability, as we can see, and you do not get your 5 icor. Why is that happening? You should get 5 icor because Squirm's ability is an active ability. Another bug to do with Squirm is with Squirm's vintage skin. As we can see, this user said, yeah, let's take a closer look. As we can see on Squirm's vintage skin, the book that Squirm eats has the vintage skin's texture on it, which is not supposed to happen. And this has been happening to other players as well. As you can see, the vintage texture is on the book and it's not supposed to be the vintage texture of Squirm. It's supposed to be one of the various books that Squirm is supposed to eat. Another bug to do with Squirm is to do with Squirm's active ability whilst extracting machines. This user said, first time using Squirm, but there's a bug. It's because before you do the machine, you can use the active ability and use the machine, but when you are on the machine already, you can't use Squirm's ability. So let's take a look at what they're talking about. So this is what they're talking about. You can activate Squirm's ability and then extract a machine to save a bit of time. Players are wondering if that's intentional or if it's a bug to be able to hold down Squirm's ability and extract at the same time. This Squirm bug has now been fixed. You are unable to hold Squirm's active ability and extract at the same time. That has been removed now. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm's active ability seems to be unaffected by trinkets that reduce cooldowns. This user said, may I ask a question? Why is it that both Ghost Snakes in a Can and Sweet Charm, both ability cooldown reduction trinkets, have no effect while both rehearsal cards reduce ability cooldown by 5 seconds, 10 seconds in total? So let's take a look. As we can see, this user has Sweet Charm and Ghost Snakes in a Can, However, when Squirm uses his active ability, it's still the full cooldown, and these trinkets are supposed to reduce your cooldown, so why is it not working on Squirm? Is it a bug? Is it intentional? Players want to know. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm's stealth not working properly. This user said going near Squirm caused stealth to not work for some reason. Let's take a look. So this user is playing Gordy, who has 1 stealth, and there is a Squirm who has 2 stealth. So naturally, Twisteds are supposed to lock onto Gordy, but let's see what happens. So Twisted Louie locks onto Squirm even though Twisted Louie was chasing Gordy. And as you can see, Twisted Louie goes back to Squirm again, and Gordy's trying to get aggro from Twisted Louie, and it's just not working. Twisted Louie just wants the Squirm, who has a higher stealth than Gordy. What's going on? And as you can see, Twisted Louie just is not even moving anymore. So there's definitely something going on with the Twisteds. Maybe it's a server problem, maybe it's a Twisted pathing AI problem. Hopefully the dev team can figure out why exactly Twisted Louie wanted to aggro onto Squirm instead of Gordy. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm being unable to run, extract machines, or even send stickers. This user said, "Hey, so I got a bug using Squirm, very funny. I was playing with my friend and I couldn't run, send a sticker, use items, and do machines. I still could get hit while playing too. It was also extremely dark on floors when there wasn't a blackout." Let's take a look at what they sent. So they're playing Squirm, it's floor 8, and as you can see, they are unable to extract this machine, they are unable to use their active ability, they are unable to use stickers, and as you can also see, the floor is quite dark even though it's not a blackout. There's almost no lighting. And if we look, they're still able to be hit by Twisteds. So they are pretty much useless, but they can still die. What is going on? And I wonder if it's a Squirm problem or if it's a general problem with the game. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm's active ability. This user said, "I have been unable to clip it because I died the floor I noticed, but if you spam Squirm's ability, you no longer have to hold F to use it. Cooldown is the same, but I don't need to hold F to use his ability, just gotta tap it." So a lot of users have said this. Basically, if you keep on spamming Squirm's active ability, eventually when you use the active ability, you don't need to hold down anymore. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm's skill check chance. So this user said, "I don't know if this was from the start, but Squirm has 30% skill check chance and there's no modifiers active." And they provided 2 pictures. Let's take a look. As we can see, Squirm's skill check chance is at 30% and Squirm's skill check is supposed to be 25% because Squirm has 3 stars in skill check. This bug is not happening to all players, only some players are experiencing an extra 5% skill check on Squirm on floor 1. Super weird. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm is able to eat bookshelves through walls. This user said, "So supposedly you can eat the bookshelves through walls, weird." As we can see, they have the ×2 cooldown speed. Squirms are eating a bookshelf through a wall. This user has also experienced a similar thing. They said, "Lol, I can eat through walls, even the bookshelf from the outside of the map." And if we take a closer look, this bookshelf is not even in the map. This is the out of bounds area, and Squirm can still eat the bookshelf and gain a ×2 cooldown speed. Super interesting that the dev team made even the bookshelves that are out of bounds interactable. Another bug to do with Squirm is Squirm getting stuck in an unusual place on the reworked gift shop map. This user said, "I couldn't really see in blackout, so I was running into everything." Let's see what happens. So it's a blackout, they're playing Squirm, and as you can see, they don't know where they're going and they end up stuck underneath this counter and unable to leave. It seems like there might be a problem with this previous counter and Squirms model, because this user was able to walk straight through the counter and get stuck. Hopefully the dev team can figure out what on earth is going on in this location on the reworked gift shop map. Another bug to do with Squirm is texture problems when Squirm is eating bookshelves. This user said when using his ability near a bookshelf, it makes all the books eaten rather than one by one. Is this a bug? Let's take a look. So Squirm is going towards these bookshelves, and as we can see, the bookshelves are being eaten at the same time rather than it happening one row at a time. This only happens when you use Squirm's active ability near a bookshelf. All of the bookshelves are eaten at the same time, and players are wondering, is that supposed to happen? Our next bug is to do with Rebecca's Skelly Kitty skin. This user said this Rebecca's skin tail doesn't move at all, though it does move in the lobby, but only her tail moves when she's doing a machine. Please fix it because it makes Rebecca's skin look cooler. And they are correct. In the lobby, Rebecca's tail does move, but in game, the tail doesn't move, but only when you're extracting a machine. So hopefully the dev team can make the tail move in runs as well when you're just walking about. Our next bug is to do with walk and run animations not loading. This is quite an old bug. It's still happening to players. I wonder what the problem is. It's definitely something to do with animations not loading when the run starts. Let's take a look at what this user sent. As you can see, Louis is distracting some Twisteds. However, his walk and run animations are not loading and he's pretty much sliding on the floor. It does take away from the aesthetics of the game. Hopefully the dev team can figure out why certain animations are not loading. Our next bug is about Toons getting stuck, which is again quite an old bug. However, this is in a new location that I haven't seen before. So we've talked about Toons getting stuck in between assets and machines, but this location is completely new. This user said you can get stuck in this area as any Toon. Let's take a look. So it looks like they are playing on a rainbow map variant, and in this particular location next to the elevator, you can get your Toon stuck if you walk into the wall and you're just stuck in this location. So hopefully the dev teams will be able to move the bookshelf a bit further away from that wooden part to stop Toons getting stuck there. There is another bug with Toons being stuck, but this time Toons are getting stuck outside the elevator. This user said, I'm not lagging, but there's 3 Toons stuck outside of elevator from floor 10 to floor 11. Let's take a look. As you can see, it's the newest update and there are 3 Toons stuck outside the elevator. What is going on here? They've also sent an image of a gap in the new art map. As you can see, there's a black line and that's a gap. This is a problem because maybe Twisteds will be able to fall through this gap. We've seen that before where Twisteds were falling through the floor because there was a gap. So hopefully the dev team can close this gap in the art map. Our next bug is about completing a machine before the skill check finishes, which causes a massive problem. This user said, when you finish a machine before a skill check and immediately get onto another machine, it continues that skill check and causes you to fail. This has been a bug for a long time and is especially annoying when doing dial. It is true this bug has been around for a while now. It seems like the dev team have been unable to find a solution, or maybe the dev team have been a bit too busy. Let's check out the video they sent. So Shelly is extracting a machine, but Shelly completes the machine before finishing the skill check, and the skill check plays on the next machine, causing Shelly to automatically fail. This user also has experienced a similar thing, but they used a valve instead. They said there is currently a glitch with the valve item that occurs when using it right as a skill check happens. The next machine you use after has a chance to instantly fail. So again, a lot of players are having this problem of skill checks continuing when going to another machine, causing the skill check to fail. Our next bug is to do with the icor leak slowing Toons down for longer than it's supposed to. This user said, I don't quite know what happened, but on floor 4 to 5, I ran into an icor spill and it didn't get rid of my slow debuff until floor 11. They've sent a few pictures, let's take a look. So this is floor 5 and Goob has a slow debuff on him. And as we can see, Goob has negative run and walk speed. And on floor 10, Goob still has a slow debuff on him from the Ichor leak he encountered on floor 4. So this is definitely a big problem. Hopefully the dev team can figure out why players are being stuck with the Ichor leak slow debuff. It does eventually go away, but after many floors. Another bug to do with Ichor leak is the hitbox of Ichor leaks. This user said, was in a run and noticed how sensitive the Ichor leaks were. Ichor getting on my screen when I didn't even step in it. Let's take a look. So they are going towards an Ichor leak, and as you can see, the Roger doesn't even step onto the Ichor leak but does get the debuffs. So it seems like the texture of the Ichor leak and the actual hitbox are not matching. Maybe in the future the dev team can give an accurate representation of the Ichor leak so Toons know exactly how big the radius is. Our next bug is very bizarre. It's to do with the smoke bomb staying in your inventory even after you've used it. This user said, I was doing a run with my friends and I used a smoke bomb and it ended bugging me. The smoke bomb was still in my inventory and I couldn't use my heals. Let's take a look at what happened. So as we can see, Sprout has a smoke bomb on number 3. Sprout uses the smoke bomb on Twisted GG, but the smoke bomb is still inside Sprout's inventory. And the user goes on to say in the video that the smoke bomb that was bugged in the inventory was unusable and they were unable to pick up any other items to replace the smoke bomb, and they were unable to use their heals as well. So a huge bug, and I'm pretty sure it stayed for their entire run. So what is going on there? Definitely a very annoying bug. Our next bug is about the inconsistencies of V pop-ups and how they behave when doing a skill check. This user said, I don't know if this is a bug, but the Z index of the V ads might be wrong. On normal machines, the pop-ups overlay the skill check. Here instead, they are below. If we take a closer look, as you can see, the V pop-ups are behind the treadmill skill check, but when doing a normal skill check, the V pop-ups are in front of the normal skill check. And when doing a circle skill check, the V pop-ups are behind the circle skill checks. So players are wondering why there are some inconsistencies in the placement of V ads. Is it supposed to be like that? Are the V ads supposed to be in front of normal machine skill checks and behind other machine skill checks? Our next bug is to do with stickers not appearing on the right hand side where it's supposed to. This user said, hello, for some reason whenever I play, the stickers are not showing up on the side since the new updates came out. I asked my friends if they can see the stickers on the side and they can, and for some reason it's just me that can't. I have tried everything, so I don't know what to do. And if we take a closer look, somebody has used a Glisten sticker, as you can see, and somebody has used a t-shirt sticker, but on the right hand side for this player, the stickers are not appearing. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's a texture problem. They are on a PC. This is the first I've ever seen where the stickers are not appearing where they should. Our next bug is to do with player names and player titles flickering and disappearing. This user said, don't know about y'all, but regardless of the platform I'm on, laptop or mobile, the letters anywhere with letters including names keep disappearing and flashing back whenever I move or a dialogue appears. This is happening to a lot of players. I wonder what the cause is. Let's take a look. These players are in the elevator, and as you can see, the names and the titles are flickering and disappearing when you move around. This looks very annoying and distracting. I wonder what the cause is. Hopefully the dev team can figure out what's happening behind the scenes. Our next bug is to do with lighting issues on the new art map. This user said, this painting has weird lighting issues. Let's take a look. So in this particular spot, when you get closer to the painting, it gets darker and lighter, and players are wondering why that's happening. Other players have had similar problems. Another bug to do with lighting that happened after the Squirm update. This user said this happened after the Squirm update. Half the map is lit while the other half is like I'm in a blackout. And as you can see, my V didn't light up like how she's supposed to in blackout when I walk into the dark area. They provided a few photos. Let's take a look. They said after the Squirm update, their lighting has completely bugged out. And in this picture, there's no light surrounding the V, so they can't see anything. And again, no light whatsoever. But in this part of the map, there's lots of light. So after the Squirm update, their lighting has bugged and they're wondering why that's happening. Why did it only start after the Squirm update? Did the dev team change something in the code that has affected the lighting? Hopefully we can get some answers. Another problem with textures disappearing and appearing is on the gift shop map. This user said, whenever you approach this bit of icor in the gift shop map, it disappears and reappears when you walk away. Let's take a look. So we are looking at the icor over here, and as you can see, when Yatta got closer, the icor disappeared, and she will do it again. So we can see the icor, and then Yatta gets closer, the icor disappears. Super weird. This Yatta is on a mobile device. Maybe that's one of the problems. Maybe it's a device problem, but it has been happening to other players as well. So maybe there's something happening behind the scenes. There's another bug to do with the reworked gift shop map, and it's to do with icor leaks on the reworked map. This user said, this isn't a bug, but please make the floor a brighter color. You can't even really see the icor leak unless you're looking down. Let's take a closer look. So as you can see, or maybe you can't see, there's an icor leak on the floor, and it's really hard to see the icor leak on the reworked gift shop map. A lot of players have complained that you can barely see the icor leak and it causes them to step inside the icor leak. So players are hoping for the dev team to make the floor a bit brighter, just so there's some contrast between the icor leak and the gift shop map floor. Our next bug is to do with items sinking into the floor. This user said tape and band are in the floor. Let's take a look. So on the left hand side there's a bandage and it's half into the floor. Why is that happening? Why are items sinking? There's a lot of sinking problems happening in Dandy's world. When will they be fixed? Our next problem is to do with posters not placed on the wall properly. This user said light out investigation poster on one of the animation floors is slightly floating, and if we take a closer look, it is true that the Roger and Toodles poster is slightly away from the wall. This is the first time I've seen somebody post about this poster. Maybe it's a new thing that happened. It accidentally started floating after an update. Hopefully the dev team can get that fixed. Another movement problem, but this time with a controller player. This user said, when I'm in a run with other people, it doesn't register me moving on my controller, but when I'm in the lobby, I can move just fine. I don't know what's the issue. So this user is a controller player. They can move fine in the lobby, but as soon as they enter a run, their Toon is unable to move. Super interesting. I wonder what's happening there. Our next bug is to do with the active modifiers not displaying debuffs correctly. This user said Twisted Shelly's confusion effect isn't popping up in the active modifiers. If we take a closer look, as you can see, Yatta has the confused debuff, which reduces extraction speed, but in the active modifiers, it's not displaying this debuff. Our next bug is to do with our new achievement system not updating properly. This user said, gossip achievement stuck on 20. I've tried rejoining and whatever, but it's been like this since release, and I'm pretty sure it's a bug. Let's take a look. So they want to complete the gossip achievement where you need to listen to all of Dandy's gossips. They claim they have listened to all of Dandy's gossips. However, the achievements are saying that they have not. Our next problem is to do with this Dandy sticker. This user said his arm is yellow and not green, and if we compare the sticker to Dandy's model, it is true the sticker has yellow arms whilst Dandy's model has green arms, and in all of the other Dandy stickers, Dandy has green arms. So why has this Dandy sticker got yellow arms? Players are wondering.